What we know about him already, our team standing by. Also breaking, several tornadoes, 4 confirmed, more than 100 homes hit. A train blown right off the tracks. We're there tonight. 2 officers suddenly facing fire, responding to an accident when a man pulls out a gun. 1 officer dead tonight. The major new headline at this hour after 2 girls are discovered dead in the woods, their final Snapchats. And tonight, the new development involving this man. And the airport security breach. Tonight, the new surveillance right here. 11 people passing through the security checkpoint in New York City. Why was there no TSA officer right there watching them walk through before they then boarded flights?
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Monday night. And we begin with the major new headline from the White House tonight. President Trump naming his new national security advisor. Sitting on a couch there at the president's Mar-a-Lago club, President Trump introducing Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster, calling him a man of tremendous talent and tremendous experience. This comes after General Mike Flynn was fired by the president after a call with Russia. The president saying it was not the call, it was an issue of trust. Late last week, the president offering the job to someone else, but Vice Admiral Bob Harward turning down the post, citing personal reasons. So tonight, who is this Lieutenant General who has now said yes? ABC's Cecilia Vega leading us off from the White House.
The president making a surprise announcement today from a couch in his ornate Mar-a-Lago clubhouse. Seated right there next to him, his new national security advisor, General H.R. McMaster.
He's a man of tremendous talent and tremendous experience. I watched and read a lot over the last 2 days. He is highly respected by everybody in the military, and we're very honored to have him.
Known as one of the Army's leading thinkers, McMaster served in the first Gulf War, Afghanistan, and Iraq. He is also a West Point grad with a PhD in military history.
I'd just like to say what a privilege it is to be able to continue serving our nation.
He replaces the controversial Michael Flynn, fired by the president after lying about his conversations with the Russians. Flynn's ouster seen as a sign of a White House in turmoil, though the president insisted otherwise.
This administration is running like a fine-tuned machine.
In that same news conference, the president also insisted he had a Flynn replacement ready to go.
And I have somebody that I think will be outstanding for the position.
But that somebody, retired Admiral Robert Harward, turned down the job, publicly citing family reasons.
You're going to do a great job.
Now, with a new national security advisor in place, the White House is preparing to roll out a new version of that controversial extreme vetting travel ban. Senior White House officials tell ABC News in the new draft, people from the same 7 majority Muslim countries targeted in the original order would still be banned. But this new draft does not automatically reject refugees from Syria. It also clarifies that green card holders and dual citizens of the U.S. and those 7 countries are exempt.
And Cecilia Vega with us live from the White House tonight. And Cecilia, General Flynn was a controversial figure from the start, really. But Lieutenant General McMaster has a very different reputation.
Yeah, David, he is already receiving praise from Democrats and Republicans alike. In fact, Republican Senator John McCain, who just days ago said that the Trump administration was in disarray, tonight is calling the McMaster pick outstanding. David.
Cecilia Vega leading us off as we start another week here. Cecilia, thank you. We turn next to breaking developments involving bomb threats across this country made against Jewish community centers. Authorities say 11 threats just today. Tonight, the FBI is now investigating, and President Trump has been asked about the growing number of cases of anti-Semitism in this country. Tonight, the White House is being pressed again, and ABC senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas with the bomb threats, and the FBI now on the case.
At least 11 Jewish community centers were targeted with bomb threats today as part of a disturbing campaign of harassment since the beginning of the year. 54 Jewish community centers receiving menacing phone calls in 4 waves. Apparently a coordinated effort intended to spark fear. The ugly campaign national in scope. On January 18th alone, at least 30 Jewish centers received threatening calls. No bombs have been found, but FBI officials tell us tonight they're investigating these incidents as possible civil rights violations, potential hate crimes. Just last week, President Trump was pressed again on reports of increasing acts of anti-Semitism around the country.
What we are concerned about, and what we haven't really heard being addressed, is and how big an anti-Semitism and how the government is planning to take care of it.
You see, he said he was going to ask a very simple, easy question. And it's not. It's not. Not a simple question, not a fair question. Okay, sit down. I understand the rest of your question. So here's the story, folks. Number one, I am the least anti-Semitic person that you've ever seen in your entire life.
And Pierre Thomas with us live tonight from our Washington bureau. And Pierre, we are now hearing from the White House tonight.
David, the White House said tonight the president believes these threats are unacceptable. His press secretary, Sean Spicer, issuing a statement saying that hatred and hate-motivated violence of any kind have no place in this country, David.
Pierre Thomas with us tonight. Pierre, thank you. And on this President's Day, thousands of Americans took part in what they called Not My President Day. There were anti-President Trump rallies in a number of cities, from New York to Washington, D.C., from Chicago to Los Angeles. And tonight in the UK, nearly 2 million people have now signed a petition to take away the invitation for a state visit that's been extended to President Trump. There was a major debate about this today. And from Sweden tonight, the prime minister there with a new message for President Trump after the president talked about an incident in Sweden. They're asking, what incident? Here's ABC's chief foreign correspondent, Terry Moran.
In Parliament Square tonight, a throng of people protesting against President Trump. Inside, a fierce parliamentary debate triggered by a petition signed by nearly 2 million Britons seeking to downgrade President Trump's upcoming state visit here, hosted by the Queen, to just an ordinary visit without any royal welcome.
We should not be inviting him to preach hatred and to spread his bigotry, his misogyny, and his division.
Order. Nearly 63 million people actually voted for President Trump, and that is their democratic decision.
Across Europe, President Trump is the great disruptor, a focus of controversy and concern. The latest flap coming this weekend when, riffing on terror in Europe, he alluded to some kind of incident in Sweden.
You look at what's happening last night in Sweden. Sweden. Who would believe this? Sweden. They took in large numbers. They're having problems like they never thought possible.
The problem? There was no incident in Sweden. Later, President Trump taking to Twitter, explaining that his statement was in reference to a story that was broadcast on Fox News concerning immigrants in Sweden. But that drew a pointed response today from Sweden's prime minister.
We must all take responsibility for using facts correctly and for verifying any information that we spread.
All this while Vice President Mike Pence is in Europe to soothe the rattled allies. And in Iraq, Secretary of Defense Mattis trying to defuse the outrage over this comment from President Trump at the CIA.
I don't want to go into Iraq, but I will tell you, when we were in, we got out wrong. And I always said, in addition to that, keep the on, but okay. Maybe you'll have another chance.
My colleague David Muir later asking him to clarify.
What got my attention, Mr. President, was when you said maybe we'll have another chance.
Well, don't let it get your attention too much, because we'll see what happens. I mean, we're going to see what happens.
Today, Secretary Mattis made clear where he stands.
We're not in Iraq to seize anybody's oil.
Let's get back to Terry Moran. He's live in London tonight. And Terry, back to that debate right there in the UK. Where does this state visit stand? Terry Moran right there in London, and we will try to get that audio fixed as we move on with the rest of the news tonight. Meantime, back here at home this evening and to a devastating scene in Texas. At least 4 tornadoes confirmed, winds up to 110 miles an hour. And tonight, word there were also straight line winds. Damage from the air, these shattered homes in San Antonio, and powerful winds twisting this transmission tower, bending it in half. There are still many without power tonight, and ABC's Philip Mena is in San Antonio.
Lightning electrifying the sky as powerful storms blow through, bringing high winds and heavy rain, snapping trees from Texas to the southern plains. Near San Antonio, the storm spawning at least 4 confirmed tornadoes, one of them tearing a path 4.5 miles long.
It's kind of like a sonic boom.
Adrian Venegas and his family of 4 racing to a neighbor's for shelter.
By the time I realized it was a tornado, our roof disappeared on us. It just completely vanished.
More than 100 homes and businesses hit hard. Dozens of vehicles flattened under this carport. This transmission tower mangled, knocking out power to thousands. And near Austin, straight line winds toppled all 12 cars of this train. Back in San Antonio, 16-year-old Alexis Stephen grateful to be alive.
All of a sudden, my window just like shot in. Everything just fell apart in like a matter of like 2 or 3 seconds.
She spent the night alone, huddled in a bathtub. The roof ripped right off her house. David, the tornado that crumbled these walls and ripped off roofs hit when so many people were inside their homes. It really is miraculous that no one here was seriously injured or worse. David?
Philip Bennett with us tonight. Philip, thank you. There is also another major storm hitting right now, and after days of flooding and mudslides that already killed at least 5, another system slamming the west at this hour. All of this as authorities continue to watch America's tallest dam. ABC's Neil Karlinski is in Sacramento tonight.
Tonight, California can't catch a break from drought to drenching, including water rescues on swollen creeks. The fire hose of rain taking aim at Northern California with a vengeance.
This area is a possible flood area.
Late today, police recommending evacuations near Modesto, where floodwaters are rising. Scattered landslides have blocked roads as soaked hillsides give way. At SFO, more than 100 flights canceled. In wine country near Napa, this huge drain letting water out of the nearly full Lake Berryessa. This weekend, at least 5 people killed in Southern California, a storm dumping up to 10 inches in some areas. This sinkhole swallowing 1, then watch.
It's going. There it goes.
2 cars. This fire truck falling off the edge of a crumbling freeway like a child's toy. Fortunately, no one was inside. To the north, at the Oroville Dam, site of a near emergency a week ago, new pictures show just how damaged that spillway is.
The problem here isn't just this storm, it's the consistent rain they've been getting here in Northern California, and they won't get a break yet. More heavy rain and even high winds are on the way tonight. David?
Neil Karlinski with us. Neil, thank you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z tracking it all for us here in New York tonight. Ginger?
And David, the flash flood and wind threat is ongoing in California, especially Northern California. Let me take you through the timing here on the map. You can see the low in the Pacific Ocean as it really hits the coast tomorrow morning. So you can see right along that California and Oregon state line, heavy mountain snow on the order of 80+ inches by the time this thing is done, and gusts could reach 50 to even 60 miles per hour. And it's not just in the mountain passes. San Francisco above 50-mile-per-hour gusts. You'll definitely see some damage potential there. Feeling like spring east of the Rockies, and it will keep feeling that way even for the end of the week for some, David.
Ginger Z with us tonight. Ginger, thanks as always. And from LA County tonight, a police officer is dead, his partner wounded after they rushed to help the victim of a traffic accident. Authorities say that victim then opened fire with a semi-automatic weapon. ABC's Matt Gutman from California tonight.
Tonight, a gunfight in suburban Los Angeles. 2 police officers responding to a traffic accident when they notice a man in the car they begin to question has
tattoos all over his face and all over his neck, and he's a gang attire.
But they had no idea the car was stolen or that he'd just been paroled 2 weeks earlier.
During the process of getting the gun out of the car, and we're going to pat him down for weapons, and that's when he pulled the gun, and that's when the gunfight started.
The suspect firing multiple shots, at least one of the officers returning fire, wounding him. You see that suspect being loaded, handcuffed into an ambulance as both the officers hit were rushed to a nearby hospital. One of them later pronounced dead. Tonight, a procession for that slain officer is winding through Los Angeles, officers embracing.
Now, that crime scene is still being investigated behind me. We've learned that the officer was wearing a bulletproof vest, but that it was not enough to save his life. He was a 30-year veteran of the force here and close to retirement, David.
Matt Gutman with us tonight. Matt, thanks. Right here in New York City this evening, we have learned today that Russia's ambassador to the United Nations has died. There are reports it was an apparent heart attack. Authorities say Vitaly Churkin died suddenly after falling ill at his office at the UN mission here in New York. He held a number of government posts before being assigned to the UN in 2006, and he was respected as a master of diplomacy. Churkin would have turned 65 tomorrow. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Monday. The airport security breach right here at JFK in New York, the new surveillance image. 11 people passing through the security checkpoint. And this question tonight, why was there no TSA officer right there watching them walk through before they then boarded flights? Also, the new headline tonight after 2 girls are discovered dead in the woods, their final Snapchats. And this evening, the new development involving this man. We do have breaking news coming in from New York Central Park tonight, the rescue of 6 young people falling through the ice. Emergency crews on the scene. A lot more ahead.
As soon as I left the hospital after a DVT blood clot, I sure had a lot to think about. What about the people I care about, including this little girl? And what if this happened again? I was given warfarin in the hospital, but wondered, was this the best treatment for me? So I asked my doctor, and he recommended Eliquis. Eliquis treats DVT and PE blood clots and reduces the risk of them happening again. Yes, Eliquis treats DVT and PE blood clots. Eliquis also had significantly less major bleeding than the standard treatment. Both made me turn around my thinking.
Don't stop Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. If you had a spinal injection while on Eliquis, call your doctor right away if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding like unusual bruising. Eliquis may